Hey guys, welcome to 808s and Basements. I'm Megan.
Oh, I'm Cody. I guess I'm supposed to say.
There you are.
I'm Cody.
And today we're talking about the Grammys. Yay, Grammys.
Like everyone else in the world.
True.
It's alright.
Everyone else.
So, I mean, just to start out, we're just going to talk about like some general thoughts about the Grammys. And I know you had like, we both have very different opinions about like the show itself.
Yes. Very different.
So yeah, I'm going to let you talk about this first because you're much more passionate about it than I am, I guess.
Okay, that's fair. First of all, I don't really understand the Grammys at all. Which
I don't think anyone does.
yeah,
Let's be real.
Like, I don't think anybody actually understands how the Grammys work except the people who are behind the Grammys. Maybe they don't even understand, but I digress. I don't.
Well, they understand ratings. That's what they understand.
That's fair. That's very fair. I just think that there's too much that you can't break it down. And like, there are some things that you just cannot compare to other things.
Yeah.
For example, in the rock category, I think it was rock album.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can compare Florence and the Machine to the Foo Fighters and Alabama
They're
Shakes.
very, very different kinds of all rock music, but very different kinds of rock music.
Right. And then, I don't know, there's just, also in the Grammys, there's a lot of things that gets left out, which, and it deserves, I don't know how to put it. It's just like there's so much, there are too many genres nowadays that you can't compare everything. And it's just a lot of things that deserve very high regard don't get the praise they deserve because they do not fit into one of these mainstream, we'll say, categories.
So your main issue is the category fraud situation.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Don't like the
I agree with that. I agree. That's not where I thought you were going with that, but no, I do agree with that. I think they need to like urban contemporary and R&B. Like what does that even mean?
Yeah,
The Weeknd is not R&B. Sorry, man, that is straight up pop music.
Yeah, that's
You're trying to imitate Michael Jackson. That's pop music. But no, I totally agree. I really thought that you were gonna go with the fact that they only do 8 awards on
That's
the
another
telecast.
thing that I absolutely despise.
This we have different opinions.
I hate that they only televise 8 awards. I hate it because
It varies every year. It's not always
right, but they only televise
best musical, which will never happen again.
But it's just so strange to me. It's like they're giving this construct that a lot of people don't know that there are 83 awards. A lot of people don't know that you can watch the Grammys basically starting at noon on the internet and follow it all day and be like, oh, they got the best this, and this. Nobody knows, and I feel like if they televise more of it, it would be a longer show. Like, it just would be, but I feel like if they televise more of it, they would appeal to the people who hate them.
Yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, I'm a major award show fan. Like, I watch them all, from the Directors Guild Awards to the Writers Guild, everything. All the stupid little award shows, I watch them all. So I'm a fan of the show itself. For me, the Grammys, and maybe it's because I understand, I do my research and I know how many categories there are, and I knew how many awards Kendrick Lamar had won going into the show. Maybe that's it, but because of that, I like the fact that it's a concert. It's like just watching a concert show for me. So I just get to watch all these performances, which you couldn't have as many diverse performances. Which, I mean, you could argue that they were all ballads anyway. But you can't have as many diverse performances if you're televising more awards, and the people who care about the awards will watch the live stream like we did. Which, I mean, I can see it both ways, but to kind of be the producer's advocate, they're going to get more views out of the concert than they are than they are the awards, because people don't care about the awards. And I mean, how much do they really matter? That's arguable, but yeah.
It's also very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of live in this world where it's just like, nah, man, make your music. It's probably good. You're fine.
Yeah.
The people will tell you if it's good.
Right.
Your award doesn't matter.
Not the Recording Academy.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't determine what's great. But yeah, I mean,
not.
I don't know. I like to be able to see all these people perform, because if you cut the time, if you show more awards, you don't get Ellie Goulding and Andra Day. You don't get probably Tori Kelly and James Bay, probably because they're both nominated for Best New Artist, but you don't get little things like that, or like the unfortunate Carrie Underwood Sam Hunt performance. You don't get things like that, which would probably be for the best, let's be real. But there are country fans out there who are there for that, so. Not that I'm hating on country music, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah. I don't know, because I watched the whole thing, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I also watched the whole thing, so.
Yeah, like hours and hours of the Grammys.
I bet you, like, I don't know, for another example, I bet you, like, Slipknot fans probably had no idea they were nominated for Grammys.
Right.
They probably had no idea.
It's like fans of the artists themselves probably don't know, but music fans, just general music fans, will know. Like people who are crazy and have to know everything that happens, like me. So, but yeah, just casual fans, they don't know. Like people think that Taylor Swift destroyed Kendrick Lamar, which is not. That's not what. No,
I
far
want to
from
say
the truth.
it's fine, but I'm not okay with it.
We'll get there. I mean, but that kind of brings up another questions of like whether or not the Grammys matter.
See, from where I come from, the Grammys do not touch.
Right.
They do not touch me.
Right.
Like, I mean, except I do like hip hop, but like everything else that I listen to will never, ever, ever be nominated for a Grammy.
Right.
Because they do not. It doesn't fit into whatever predetermined category there is, and that's fine with me. That's okay.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just I also just think that like because I just said that it's like they're telling you the Grammys in only showing that small category of things. They're like, oh, this is what's important, and this is the only thing that's important.
I agree.
And I don't think they have a place to do that.
That's well, and it's a lot of people don't really understand that it's what this group of people is saying is important. It's like and this group of people tends to choose the less, I don't know, the less experimental, the less packing a punch, you know, the less unique thing. But I mean, at the same time, I'm a massive fan of Pentatonics. They're never gonna have a chance to even be recognized by the general public, and they weren't until they got last year. They won their first Grammy, and after they won that first Grammy, they blew up. More people knew about them. More people knew what they were about, and I don't know. I think for smaller artists like that in weird genres like acapella, which I mean, at the same time, there are people in genres like your world over there,
whatever it is.
Yeah, that. But that don't get any kind of recognition. But I think at the same time, they don't need them as much.
It's true.
Because they already have that following. But I think for smaller acts like Pentatonics and like these world music people who end up, and reggae artists and stuff like that, who end up being Grammy nominated, Grammy winning, you know, artists. Like that makes them a big deal. Like classical artists who win Grammys. That's a big deal for them. But at the same time, like it's not for that world.
Yeah.
So I think in some aspects they do matter. But I think when you get up to the bigger stuff, like rock album or pop album, like that stuff you can't determine the best of those. Like it's impossible. You can't do it. You can determine one that was really good, but who's to say that that was so much better than all the other ones? And then like album of the year, when you have all 5 nominees from different genres, like, okay, this genre wins over all the other genres. Like that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. So I think it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you were saying, like, I have met at the, at a conference I went to last year, the Appalachian Studies Association, I met an 11-time Grammy winner.
Which is cool.
Which is amazing. I think he teaches banjo at some university somewhere.
That's cool.
And I was like, now, like, hold on. You have more Grammys than a lot of, like, major pop stars, like major artists will ever earn.
More Grammys than Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
Justice for Jeppo.
Like, and nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, openly, it just blows my mind. And like in his world, everybody's like, oh my God, I don't know what his name is, but but like, no, somebody pointed to him and they were like, hey, that guy has 11 Grammys, and I went,
that's nuts.
I went, he what?
Yeah.
So it's just,
and it's a cool statistic. I mean,
yeah,
you can't lie. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's such a weird thing.
It is. It's like
so strange.
I agree, because I feel both ways. Like in some cases it matters, and in other cases it's like, no.
Yeah, the fact that you can be a teacher at a university and be like, yeah, I have 11 Grammys.
Just casual, you know. It's like,
I have more Grammys than schools.
Was it Jimmy Carter who just won a Grammy? Like former presidents. Yeah, and he was in a category with Amy Poehler. Are you kidding? Like that's the kind of thing that it's super interesting, and I think it kind of matters, but at the same time, when like there's shit like that, it doesn't matter at all. Kyle's having a heart attack. Okay, so let's talk about the premiere show a little bit. I think we kind of have, but I just want to make sure. I'm just kidding. Okay, that's why I skipped that last point.
We're good.
It was like 1:15. I think we can talk about this part in 5 minutes, right? All right. Okay, so the coolest thing happened to me. First of all, Pentatonics won their 2nd Grammy. I sobbed. They weren't even there, but I cried. I cried like a bitch, and I will cry every year that they win, and for as long as they are a group, they will probably take the Best Arrangement Instrumental a cappella category. I am convinced that they created that category for Pentatonics, but
again, with the categories.
As long as that category has existed, they have won it, so there's that. But before that even happened, like literally 2 minutes before, they announced the first Grammy of the day, which was, I think it was Best Pop Album. I could be wrong about that. But who shows up to accept the award for Taylor Swift other than my queen, Jack Antonoff, with the perfect acceptance speech. He calls, and in case you missed it, because I'm sure everyone did, because no one watches the premiere show, but he calls Taylor Swift, he gets up there, and first of all, he's just there, and I'm crying. But, because I love him. But then he calls Taylor Swift, and puts the phone up to the mic, and she's like, is James Taylor there? Tell him I love him. What the hell does that even have to do with anything? You just won a Grammy, like, chill out. But Jack Antonoff was there, and I freaked out, and then 2 awards later, Pentatonics won. And so I was done for the day. Like, that's all that needed to happen.
Fair.
Until the show later, but...
And then, of course, Jackie won stuff.
Jackie dominated everything.
Yeah, they won everything they were...
In the dance category, yeah.
Did they win everything they were nominated for?
Category. No, because... No, I don't remember. In the premiere show, they did.
Yeah.
In the premiere show. I don't know about later.
I think they were only nominated for one thing that was televised.
Okay, cool.
So and they won that too. Yay!
So
that was debatable. I'll leave it say that was debatable. Yeah, I don't know what that was. They dominated the dance category, and like
that's another thing back to like the genre fraud. Or the category fraud or whatever.
Yeah,
like one artist dominated every category. Like, I mean, Taylor Swift basically took all the pop categories except for the few that Ed Sheeran got, which is essentially Taylor Swift 2.0. Let's be real. But and then Kendrick, of course, dominated every hip hop category, deservedly so. But yeah, that was and Alabama Shakes got all the rock categories. Like, and I mean, it was just like a theme. All the major categories, it was the same artist for everything.
Although I will say that I do feel that there was one category that Alabama Shakes was nominated for. I think Tame Impala was in there, and it just like that's going back to like the genre thing. I didn't feel like they fit into that category.
Right.
And I was just like,
it's weird. It's weird to put.
So strange. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was like you're calling it rock and you're also calling it alternative.
Right.
And I just. Which, yes, there's alt rock and there's blah, 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 but I just was like, okay, like, I don't...
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I don't get it.
I guess the country category was a little mixed up. It was all Little Big Town and Chris Stapleton. But she does not care at all. I mean, like, I'm not a massive country fan, but I like Girl Crush and I like Chris Stapleton a lot, so I guess I'm the country go-to here.
That's the weirdest thing that's ever come out of your mouth.
Really? I mean,
yes.
I don't hate country music. I listen to it because I'm a psycho and I have to listen to everything that ever exists ever.
Fair.
But Chris Stapleton's really good. I really like Chris Stapleton.
I feel like I like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
I feel like I do like him. I won't listen to him, but I feel like I was like,
she would. You liked his performance, right? You
I think so.
Remember?
I was like,
it
wow,
was
his
guitar the whole time.
Okay,
they did the B.B. King.
Oh,
tribute.
yeah, I did like that. I was just like, I was entranced by his hair. It just looked so luscious, healthy, and I just wanted to know what shampoo he used. It's probably mane and tail, like my dad.
Yeah, probably. It's probably whatever.
He strikes me as a mane and tail person.
I can see that.
Yeah. There was one time that I did care about. I don't know, this could be wrong. They could have been up for alternative, but I think maybe last year, I could be completely incorrect, that
I don't know if I remember.
Was Trampled by Turtles nominated for a Grammy last year?
I have never heard those words before.
Okay. okay.
I don't know. And I probably didn't pay attention to as many things as I did this year.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I was distracted. I was multitasking.
Again, that could have been a completely incorrect statement, but the newspapering, yes.
Yeah. We were probably in a meeting. Did that happen?
Oh. Yes.
What's up? So, let's talk about some of the performances.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. First of all, the first thing we see as she knows, as the curtain comes up or whatever happened, most people saw Taylor Swift. I did not see Taylor Swift. All I saw was Jack Antonoff. That was it. I couldn't even tell you what Taylor Swift was wearing. I think it was sparkly.
Oh, she was wearing this sparkly. It was beautiful and I wanted to wear it. Just because she looked like a space pirate. It was like not head to toe. It was like all like, it was a jumpsuit.
Of course it was.
It was black, glittery. It had the boots built into it. It was all one thing.
Fancy.
It was great.
I didn't even notice. I didn't know that was happening because if you look at my Twitter timeline, there are like 5 tweets that just say Jack. I sound like the Titanic. Like Jack. That's all it says. So that was the greatest moment of the night for me, and it was just the beginning of the night. It was overwhelming. I had a moment.
You see, she can't even speak.
You don't even understand. You don't understand how much I adore this human being.
I do understand.
Anyway, we can talk. Okay. Also, no, we can't stop there because everyone was talking about how terrible of a choice it was for Taylor Swift to perform. I'm stuttering. That's how excited I am. for Taylor Swift to perform Out of the Woods. Okay, first of all, that's my favorite song on 1989. Probably because it's basically a Bleachers track. But,
Alright. Okay.
but, I mean, she was gonna do something that she did on tour. She wasn't gonna do anything new. Why would she? Like, she basically did her tour performance. And she sounded great, it looked great, and Jack Antonoff was there and shined like the star that he is. So
I was his stage energy is wonderful.
Yes.
I
Oh, well.
very much enjoyed it.
Have you ever seen him in person? Seen him live?
I
feel like we talked about this.
I feel like I saw Bleachers at Bonnaroo, but there's no real way to know.
Well, let me just say that man on a stage is like a ball of light and positivity and energy, and it's just overwhelming. And it's perfect. And I get to be like this all day. Whatever. All right. Next.
What happened?
We have a list here. We do have a list. Let's come back to that one.
Yes,
and
let's.
And that one, because they kind of go together. Let's talk about the 42 tributes that happened. Like, okay, this was a pretty rough year to be a popular musician, which is really tragic. But I don't know. What did you think of them? Any of them? Just any of them?
Okay, let's start with the Lionel Richie one.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that even existed.
Because, okay, I will just come right out and say they should have let Demi do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, she
Done.
was over singing a little bit, but I think it only appeared that way because everybody else was so bad.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
exactly how I took it. I was like, everybody's like, oh, she's like overperforming, over singing, and I'm just like, everyone else is underperforming.
Everybody, yeah,
it was
that's
like,
exactly. Well, I mean, you put Meghan Trainor on there, and I'm instantly like, nope, bye.
who chose Luke Bryan to do a Lionel Richie thing?
That was, I guess they needed another country performer, so they.
But why there? Like, I don't get it.
Whatever.
I don't understand.
And Tyrese, why did they give him Brick House? Like, he could have done something so much better. They should have given Luke Bryan Brick House, because he could be like, she's a brick house.
Yeah, that's
like
more...
he could do that in his accent, and
Yeah.
it would have been less offensive.
Yes.
But, I mean, like, John Legend was good too, but John Legend is always beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah.
But
that would make
But I
sense.
forgot that he was there.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
That, also John Legend doing a Lionel Richie tribute, that made sense in my head.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
makes complete sense.
Yeah. They should have stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, it should have been John Legend, Demi,
Demi.
and Tyrese. They
Yeah.
give Tyrese something that isn't Brick House.
Yeah.
And then Lionel Richie can get up there.
Yeah, and then Lionel Richie. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, Lionel. This is
Um,
wonderful.
Bowie.
Okay.
What did you think about that?
I thought that there was no better person to do it, but I felt it was kind of choppy.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the-
exactly my thought.
Like,
There's
it-
too much packed into one.
Yeah, it was
thing.
literally song,
Yeah.
like song, and I was just like, I don't. It's like I want to like this so bad. Like I liked the let's see, like the visuals
The
and
aesthetic.
the perform. I liked the
Yeah.
performance. I did not like the let's see, how shall we say, song sequence.
Yeah.
I did not like the sequence.
There are so many things. Like, you're never gonna get them all in there.
Yeah, never.
She should have just. She and Niall, I guess, should have just chosen like 3 songs and then like a little medley, not
Yeah,
like
not
a line from every hit Bowie song. And I get it. I get she was excited, but
Right.
were you offended by the big drama, like the Intel thing directly after it? Did that offend you? Because I mean, it didn't bother me. Like, I feel like Bowie would have been all about it. Like, as immediately after the performance, there was like this Intel promo for Lady Gaga, and it was like presented by Intel. Was David Bowie, like, that's the criticism I've seen, like, was David Bowie presented by Intel? Which, I mean, honestly, I think Bowie would have been for that technology and progressing and all those Bowie-like things. But I don't know, that's just me. A lot of people were super offended by that. I think his son was offended. Which sucks.
Actually,
It's just now happening.
Yeah,
Like,
if
it's
it's
not.
like-
It's totally irrelevant.
if it's me in commercialization, you know how I feel about commercialization
Yeah.
of anything. So I'm like, I'm so down with the man.
Yeah.
Like I was so offended by that Gwen Stefani
commercial, which is tragic because that song is a bop.
Yeah, and I love Gwen Stefani, except I remember we were in the newsroom and we were like watching this, we were like, is this a Target commercial? And then at the end we went, what?
Yeah,
it was so funny.
That's about right.
But I felt taken advantage of. Yeah.
Other tributes, I mean, I guess, the Hollywood vampire situation. That happened.
You mean Johnny Depp dressing up as Patrick Stump from 2005?
Yeah, or basically
Captain Jack Sparrow
Captain Jack
performing
Sparrow's-
with his father.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he looked like Captain Jack Sparrow's dad. Yeah, so that happened. We don't need to talk about that. Right,
I was
exactly.
just like, oh, Captain Jack Sparrow meets Captain Teague.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it. It was overwhelming.
And Pentatonic Stevie Wonder. There's another tribute.
Oh, that was so good.
Which is awesome because critics hate Pentatonics. Critics are so mean to Pentatonics, and it makes me so sad because I love them so much.
They're so good.
But every time they perform on one of these award shows or they do like a tribute or something, it makes me so nervous because I know if they miss one note or they're a little bit out of tune, all the critics are going to rip them a new one. So, and the critics still did. Like half the people I hear talk about them hated it. But I don't know how. They looked great. They sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder was there. Like it was good. It was cute. They were incredible. Stop hating on Pentatonics. They're great. You know it. Just because they do covers doesn't mean they're less than.
True. Have you ever tried to write an a cappella arrangement of anything? It's hard. I won't go.
Okay, so let's talk about the weird collaborations. Like, okay, Tori Kelly and James Bay made sense.
It did make sense, and it was so good.
It was incredible.
It was.
I love those two songs.
Like,
I love those two songs individually so much.
Their vocal tonalities blended in so well, and it was just like
They need to like do something together.
they do need to do something.
It would be so good, and they're both such great songwriters. Or that's not true. Tori Kelly's not a very good songwriter. Her last album wasn't a very good song. Her EP, her first EP was great songwriting wise. The album not so great. So if she could go back to that and write with James Bay, songwriting gold. That was really complicated. But and then we had Ellie Goulding and Andre Day who.
Oh, I like that.
A lot of people, I keep seeing like people hating on Ellie Goulding for like being stuck up there just because she was the pop star, and they needed somebody to perform with Andre Day. But I thought she held her own. Like
She did.
I really like her voice.
Yeah.
I really like her voice, and I like hearing it.
Yeah, one really mean critique I saw was like, they put Ellie Goulding up, or at least Andre Day knows how to sing like an adult, blah blah blah. And I was just like, do not hate on Ellie Goulding's voice. It was a very lovely contrast. It was. It was very complimentary, and I dig. Like I'm all about like husky lady voice. Like
Husky lady voice.
It speaks to me. But like when you have those like high sort of soprano-ish tones, like layered with a fuller, deeper tone, it's just it's magical. I love it.
Yeah. It's like back to Pentatonics. I run through every time that Mitch sings.
Oh,
Moving on. Okay, from excellent to Adele.
Oh. I'm just gonna say, like, all across the board, the sound dudes at the Grammys were like asleep.
Not great. But I mean, I think this performance really just locked it in for me. But I really think that I don't like Adele. I think I have determined that I don't like Adele, which is tragic because I recognize her talent. I recognize how incredible she is and how wonderful she is as a human being. I don't like her music, and I have determined that as of the Grammys.
Yeah, everybody, like, the critiques I saw were like that. They're like, oh, she was out of key, or something like that. Which, and I think her rebuttal was that she couldn't hear herself.
Yeah, well, something happened.
Yeah, something
She couldn't hear herself, and something fell on the piano, and it made it out of tune.
Yeah, which, if you're a singer and you've ever tried to sing in front of a lot of people and can hear yourself, it's the most terrifying thing.
Yeah,
no matter how committed to muscle memory you think your notes are, if you can't hear yourself, it's so scary.
Yeah.
I'm getting anxiety.
And it's not like she's performed that song 100 times in
Yeah.
front of people. So, I mean, like, I understand. I'm not hating on her for having a terrible performance. Like, sorry.
Yeah, like, you have bad
that
performances. It's just sometimes it's really unfortunate when they happen.
If
on
nothing else,
television.
it humanized her.
Yes.
I guess. Which, I mean, is Adele. Like,
Mhm.
we all know that she's a human being. But, so, that was Adele. What about Jackie? You want to talk about Jackie?
Okay, so like
I have a weird opinion about this.
Oh, she has a weird opinion.
A weird opinion.
So this was another point in time when the sound guys were asleep, because when after Justin did his like little ditty and then went over to sing with Skrillex and Diplo and the band, it was like that mic sounded terrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was
Maybe
just like,
that's what.
I was
my
like,
issue was.
what? Like it sounded awful.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw Skrillex on guitar, I couldn't help but like, oh, I was so happy.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure you.
I saw that. I was like, thank God. For those of you who don't know, Hi, Kyle. I have been a Skrillex fan since before he was Skrillex, when he was in From First to Last, that little emo, little emo frontman for a very, very angsty,
basically what you saw
yeah.
happened.
But like when he was playing it, it was so strange to me because I could hear, and somebody called me over dramatic for making this claim, but I could definitely hear like similar tonalities in his guitar playing from First to Last days, and he didn't even play guitar from First to Last. He sang, and I was like, so it took me back a little bit. It did. It was good. It was amazing.
For me, it was, and I totally forgot that Justin Bieber did that thing at the beginning. Like that's how much it stuck in my mind. Like it was good. It sounded good. I like that he changed the whole arrangement of the song. It was super cool. Also, huge night for Ed Sheeran, who wrote that song. But, and I'm gonna read this tweet because this is like exactly how I felt about this. This is from my girl Jason Lipschitz. I hear Where Are You Now is a vulnerable, anguish song, and those dudes just made it a sweaty bro fest. And that's kind of, I didn't necessarily feel it was a sweaty bro fest, but it was like, I don't know, I didn't feel the emotion of Where Are You Now. Where Are You Now is such an emotional song for me, and that just kind of, I don't know, that performance didn't showcase that, and I was a little disappointed.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I
I figured.
I disagree.
I don't know, maybe I was just in a weird headspace, but I don't, it just didn't do it for me. No particular reason, like it wasn't bad, it wasn't the song for me.
I feel like because I come from such a weird emo kid music background that I did hear the anguish and vulnerability in the Sonny Moore guitar playing and drum kit.
See, I wasn't really paying attention. I was too wrapped up in everything that was happening that I couldn't listen to like the instrumental section. So
I was very
maybe that's what it was. So okay, good. I'm glad that it wasn't all like that.
Mm-hmm.
The big one.
Kendrick.
Well, I mean, I guess first we could talk about Hamilton before we get to Kendrick.
I love musicals.
And I think Hamilton is another world.
It is another completely different
Lin-Manuel Miranda is a godsend. He is, I mean, like, what an amazing, and the fact that they broadcast that award just for the sake of that speech that he gave, which was just otherworldly. Like, every award speech needs to be like that forever, like to change the game. But since none of us will, I'm under attack. None of us will ever get to see Hamilton on Broadway. That was a great. I'm really glad that I got to experience that. So thank you, Grammys. And thank you, Hamilton, for existing. Okay, thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't been that giddy about like seeing a musical performance since I was in a musical theater
That's cool.
sphere.
That's really cool.
So I was just like, oh my god! And it's all kind of like came back to me. So it just, I didn't really get to like watch it with a critical eye. I was just excited. I was just like,
that's
oh my god!
That's how I felt. Like I wasn't like critiquing it. I was just enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, I missed listening to. One of my favorite things is a lot of voices singing strongly at once, and especially whatever key they were in. I don't know what it is, but it's a certain
Something
key
magical
that it hits something in my brain. Like I'm like,
so cool. I love that.
And so yeah,
Good.
I miss Broadway vocalization. I love it.
And
So
and
much.
it was like, and Hamilton is like ultra intelligent Broadway.
Yes.
You know, it's otherworldly. It doesn't. I don't even think it counts.
No, I just learned about Hamilton like last week.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. I've been so far removed from anything musical theater for so long that I had no idea what was happening.
But like, but this is like hip hop. Like
I know. I had
that's so
no
nuts
idea.
to me. Okay, well,
It is.
I need to do a better job of informing you.
You
of
do.
the things that exist. in the
I'll
world.
be.
That
I'll be
made me
better.
sad. Wow, I'm sad. I'm sad for you. You need to go listen to the whole thing
I do.
because, yeah, definitely the most impactful. At least for me, I'm sure you're gonna say the same thing. The most impactful, the most memorable, the most, even more than Jack Antonoff appearing on stage. The second that you saw the chains, and he gets up to that mic and he wraps his arms around him and he spits the blacker the berry.
Oh my god.
Done. Like I felt my stomach just drop.
Yeah,
The first word that came out of his mouth.
I saw that like as soon as he like stepped on like literally 0.5 seconds. I was like, he's gonna Beyonce the Grammys.
This is Kendrick Lamar, by the way, in case you weren't aware.
Kendrick.
That's who we're talking about.
Yes.
I mean,
Kendrick. Chain Gang coming out. Oh my god. Oh.
I mean, that performance alone won the night. Like
It did.
awards. This is why I think that the awards themselves are irrelevant, because you see this concert and you're not going to remember. Okay, some people are going to remember that Kendrick didn't win Album of the Year. You're going to remember that performance. You're going to remember that iconic moment when he made your insides just go.
Okay. Okay. I'm down with that.
Thank you, Kendrick. So speaking of Album of the Year, let's talk about like the big four.
Wait, can we go back for a second? Did
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
any
sorry,
mean
I'm sorry.
tweets about Kendrick? Because I just remembered I saw a lot of mean Kendrick tweets. They're like, "Oh my God, really? Is he really doing
I
this?"
think I was following the right people. I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody like quote tweeted it and was like,
Maybe
"Shut
I
up."
just- Maybe I just tuned them out. But I really don't think I saw anything mean about Kendrick at all. No.
Yeah, it was
I
just.
don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm sure it was along the same lines as
the same
Beyonce.
people who were angry at Beyonce were angry at Kendrick, and they were like, "Oh my God, Taylor Swift should not."
I made sure
she
to warn all those
performed.
people that Beyonce was going to be on the stage in case they needed to.
to leave.
Watch out, white people! She's coming.
Oh no. In the style of the SNL.
Yeah,
Video from a
exactly,
couple weeks ago.
Exactly. I feel like that's my duty as a member of the agency to warn people when she's coming, so that they can shut their damn mouths. Anyway.
Moving on.
The big four. Let's start with Song of the Year.
Let's.
Yes.
let's-
So I'm gonna bring up the nominees.
The nominees.
Wow, I don't know how this works. Song of the Year. So the nominees were Thinking Out Loud, Ed Sheeran, and I'm just gonna name the performers. I'm not gonna name all the songwriters. Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, All Right by Kendrick Lamar, Blank Space, Taylor Swift, Girl Crush, Little Big Town, and See You Again by Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth. Charles Puth. That was so funny to me when he was listed as Charles Puth. I hate Charlie Puth so much. I hate him so bad.
Charles.
And of course, the winner was Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. Thoughts? Like, no one was really shocked.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, I didn't make predictions. I didn't have any preconceived thoughts about the Grammys because the Recording Academy will always ruin your life every year. As a Beyonce fan,
Ruin lives.
I feel that. But
they're life ruiners.
But
they ruin people's lives.
they tend to like things like Thinking Out Loud, which was a really great song. Like, it's a great song, and it deserved, all of these songs deserve to win. Whatever. Good job, Ed.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I think already should have won.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah, but it was too, I feel like it was too, I don't know.
No.
Too impactful. Too much, packed too much of a punch. But whatever. So best new artist.
I've never screamed so loud out of anger in all of my life.
Let me read the nominees. So Courtney Barnett, James Bay, Sam Hunt, Meghan Trainor, and Tori Kelly. The winner, of course, was Meghan Trainor.
Why? I don't understand. Because
Well, I mean, they're basing it off of last year. They're not, obviously, like... Which, this is where the whole category fraud situation comes in, because she's had a nomination before. She should not have been eligible for this.
yeah.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. Meghan Trainor, I saw somebody tweet, Meghan Trainor is the Ted Cruz of
The Ted Cruz of pop music.
That's exactly how I feel about it. And I mean, like, I'm sure she's a sweet person. I'm sure she's so nice. But she defines evil pop.
She does.
Like, evil pop music that is out there to either do nothing for you, to change nothing in the world, or to offend everyone, or set back feminism 50 years. But that's another conversation for another day. Not Meghan Trainor fans, for the record.
No.
Nothing against her personally.
Yeah. I don't
Just-
like her, anything she does. I'm
But-
sure as a human being,
Right.
she's probably lovely to speak to.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I
moving
don't
on.
think we would agree.
Moving on. I can't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, we're getting a little...
Which, I mean, I didn't think anybody else was gonna win, but
Yeah, I was hoping, like, of course I wanted Courtney Barnett to win. Of course I did. But, like, I knew that wasn't going to happen,
Super long
and
shot.
I wanted at least Tori Kelly to win.
yeah, it's also a long shot because her record was not good.
Mm.
I think if Tori Kelly would have had a better album, she may have been able to do it, but it wasn't very good. So
Because, like,
I love Tori Kelly, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, like, talently speaking, I think
Oh
Tori
yeah,
Kelly
yeah.
should
If
have
you
won.
look at the talent of all 5 of those people, like, first of all, how do you compare?
Yeah, you...
But
Yeah,
at
that's
the
another
same time, Tori Kelly is worlds above all of them. Except for maybe Courtney Barnett. That's the only other one that...
I just...
But she's like a different kind of talent.
Exactly.
than
Yeah,
Tori Kelly. She's not like a powerhouse vocalist like Tori.
Yeah.
But Tori's not a good songwriter. Anyway, whatever. None of that matters. Record of the year. So, Uptown Funk, Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. Really Loved by D'Angelo. Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. Blank Space, Taylor Swift. And Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd. Or as I heard earlier today, Thursday through Sunday. That's what I will be calling him forever. That is your name now, Abel. Anyway, so after a nice scream out from Bruno Mars, that was a great moment for me. He's, come on, Beyonce, let's do this. I love that so much. Also, can we just talk about Beyonce for a minute? This woman, like everybody's like, is she actually going to show up? She's billed as a presenter, like obviously she's going to show up.
She's
And
going to
she
be like,
appears.
nah.
She shows up in a wedding gown because Beyonce wears what she wants. Remember that, haters. She and I read somewhere it was by an Israeli designer, so she's like representing yeah. So it was like super cool. But yeah. Anyway, can't spend too long on Beyonce, but Uptown Funk. I think of those 5 songs, I think Uptown Funk was the most deserving.
I agree with that. 'Cause
It was, I mean, I would have loved to see D'Angelo win.
yeah. As far as
It wasn't a chance.
production value of all of those,
And it was, I mean, Uptown Funk is such a jam.
it is a jam. I'm I'm sick of it, but it's a jam. That's because it's a jam, and I couldn't stop listening to it for like 2 months.
That's like, to me, Uptown Funk is so good that I can still listen to it even though I've heard it 600 times. Which is nuts, because I can't do that with a lot of things.
I feel like if I were to listen to it now, I'd be okay. Cause
Yeah.
I've had a decent break from it.
Yeah, but like when he showed up and performed it at the Super Bowl, I was like, yes, I'm here for this. I love this song, and then Beyonce showed up. But for that moment, in that moment, I was here for it. Here. All right. So, and last but not least, we'll talk about the big one. The big one. They're all irrelevant. But album of the year nominees were 1989, Sound and Color, To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly, Traveler, and Beauty Behind the Madness. First of all, can I just say, how the hell did that slip in there? Beauty Behind the Madness. How did that get in there?
No.
Like, it's good, but it's not album of the year good.
Yeah, that was strange to me.
They really like Thursday through Sunday.
I mean, who doesn't like Thursdays? Those are the best days of the week.
Anyway. So, 1989 won. Everyone knows. Would you like to talk about it, or would you like for me to talk about it?
You go first.
Okay. I'm very conflicted. I'm not as conflicted now, but when it initially happened, I was very, very conflicted. Because now I'm at the point where it's like, well, we'll get there. But initially it was like, even before they announced it, I was like, okay, Taylor Swift is probably going to win because that's how the Recording Academy works. That's just how they go. And, well, actually it was like, it's either going to be Taylor Swift or it's going to be Alabama Shakes because, you know, that's how they go. But I had this moment where it was like, okay, the socially conscious human in me and the person who comprehends music and iconic music and the impact that music can have acknowledges the fact that it 10,000% should be Kendrick Lamar. Absolutely should be. He had the album of a generation. Then again, there was this other part of me. And this is the part that had me conflicted. Because 1989 didn't have the same impact on the world or the generation, but it was super important to me. Like, it was a big deal to me personally. So I really wanted that to win, but more importantly, I wanted Jackie Antonoff to win. And that's obnoxious, and I hate it. I hate how annoying that is. But, like, that's how I felt. Like, I was super excited to see him win for that album. Like, and he had been tweeting and doing interviews and stuff, and he said, we made this album in bedrooms. Like, we made this album sitting in bed. How cool is that we won a Grammy for it? Like, it's super cool. But at the same time, that it wasn't as important as To Pimp a Butterfly by any means. In comparison, it wasn't important at all. But they're not here to acknowledge the most important album of the year. They're just here to pick one to hand a trophy to, essentially. Which it doesn't matter, because if it mattered, Beyonce would have won. Those are my thoughts. Your turn. Very conflicted.
This is where my lack of understanding of the Grammys comes in that I don't see how at all 1989 was a better album than Butterfly. Like, I can't identify one area where I'd be like, oh yeah, this was better. Like, songwriting wise.
Sales. So, I mean, she dominated the year. Until Kendrick's album was released, she dominated it. Like, from the day it was, that's just the devil's advocate answer.
Which, that seems to me that in a music-oriented awards thing, that should not matter.
Well, I mean, Beck's album didn't sell anything.
That's exactly.
And Beyonce was, and I hate to keep comparing it because it is essentially the same thing, but at the same time it's not. Because yeah, Beyonce's album was huge and important and very feminist empowering, but not nearly as important as To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly has a cultural impact, like it just does. In a way that a silly little pop album like 1989 never could. And I mean, I say that as a person who adored 1989. I still do. I still listen to it regularly, and that says a lot. But I also listen to Pimp a Butterfly regularly. So
Thank you. But
I don't know.
like I said, I don't know. It just seems like in my head there's a metaphorical scorecard, like a score sheet. Like, and if I were like to honestly, very objectively go in and be like, okay, production value, number, like 1 to 10, like all that in every category, To Pimp a Butterfly, like comes out over 1989. And that is where I don't understand, like, barring the social impact, like, in all of that, technically speaking and artistically speaking, To Pimp a Butterfly is a better album.
I agree.
Period. And so that's where I just don't understand. And
but
I don't get it.
I agree. But I also think that trying to predict the Recording Academy is pointless. They're never going to do what you think they're going to do. They're always going to break your hearts. They picked Meghan Trainor. But, I mean, that's where I decide that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, just based on their choices, it doesn't matter. And yeah, I mean, in a way, Taylor Swift deserved it, but Kendrick deserved it more. Like, there's no way to make an argument that he didn't. There's no. If we're talking about who deserved it, like, I mean, that's just.
Which brings
Am
me
I
to
shocked?
my point.
No.
Who are you, Recording Academy? Who are you? And who can you tell us who the most important album is? Who are you? What gives you that cred? Like, what gives it to you? I don't understand. Like, what have you done?
Well, I mean, and I think it's more in, like, the relevance is more in who is listening and how they're listening to that, to who the winners are, essentially. Because, like, it's like I was saying earlier, like, it doesn't matter for these massive artists because, yeah, Taylor Swift now is the only woman to have won Album of the Year twice, and she's going to have that statistic until somebody else does it. But at the same time, like, it doesn't matter for these massive artists. It doesn't matter. And nobody's going to remember that Ed Sheeran won whatever he won. Like, I don't even remember Song of the Year. Nobody's going to remember that. Nobody's going to remember that Uptown Funk was Record of the Year. Like, tell me what Album of the Year was 4 years ago. Like, nobody remembers that shit. Like, it just... I can't even do that, and I'm an award show junkie. Like, I can tell you last year, because I was devastated. But...
Yeah.
but at that point, I just decided, like, that these people aren't going to tell me who the best album of the year is. Like, it's just not. I mean, they can pick their winner, but that doesn't mean anything for me personally.
And it shouldn't really mean anything for you guys either. You. That's right. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who, honest to God, thought that The Weeknd's album should have won Album of the Year.
Which is hilarious.
Which I didn't. But,
yeah. I mean, and, like, Sound and Color. Sound and Color is an incredible album.
It is. It's great.
But totally different world. Traveler is exceptional. Like, especially for the genre, but beyond the genre, it's just great. And I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Thesis statement.
It
doesn't matter.
And scene. No, okay. But anyway. So, yeah, those were the Grammys. Let us know your thoughts. Like, let us know if we're full of shit or, because we are. Whatever.
We are full of shit.
But aren't we all, though? Aren't we all the Recording Academy?
Yes.
Okay. So, to wrap this up, we're going to do this, since this is our first, like, full-length whatever, we're going to do a new, we don't really know what to call it yet. Like, we're going to, every week we're going to pick, like, a song to be, like, our song of the week or whatever, and, yeah. And we'll have a full playlist on Spotify, so you can, of them for... all of eternity for however long eternity lasts. But yeah, so do you want me to go first? Or you want to go first? You go first. Okay, so pretty much the only thing I've talked about this entire show has been Jack Antonoff. So and for no reason relating to that at all. My song is "I Want to Get Better" by Bleachers, which actually had its 2-year anniversary Wednesday. I don't know, this week, it doesn't matter. I don't know when you're going to be seeing this, so whatever. But had its 2-year anniversary this week, which was, and "I Want to Get Better" was the first single from Bleachers, which, for those of you who don't know, is Jack Antonoff's solo project. And I didn't wear this shirt on purpose. It just happened. Because this is my life, and I end up wearing whatever I'm fangirling about regularly. Anyway, yeah, but that, I mean, honestly, that song, it's a dark song, and it's about depression and a lot of things, but the theme is I want to get better, and it's like, ever since I've become such a massive fan, which my fandom for everything Jack Antonoff is fairly recent, like within the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. But like that song has been like a guiding piece. Like, I want to get better. I want to get better in everything, always. And so, highly recommend it. I listened to it like 46 times the other day. And yeah, you should hear it. If you haven't, I'm sure you have. But listen to it again. Oh. Your turn.
Mine is Animal Collective came out with their new album today.
Yes.
And I've listened to it once.
I haven't heard it all the way through yet.
Yeah.
I've only listened to like the singles.
Yeah, I've listened to it
So like
once.
2 songs.
And well, not Florida, but came out in November. They dropped that single in November, I think.
So,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it had to be November.
Yeah, but right after that one is Hocus Pocus.
Oh shit.
It's got like, they bring in this like chiptune sound, and I'm just like,
I'm excited.
Okay.
I really want to listen to this. I'm gonna listen to it.
yeah, it's really like,
Very soon.
the album is like, it's a lot bouncier than their other stuff. It's just like, the whole thing is
Basically
literally
all of Florida.
yeah, like all the songs kind of have that
Yeah.
like drive behind it,
That's
kind of,
cool.
and it's, I don't know, it's very strange. It's much less ethereal than a lot of the other stuff
Oh,
that
cool.
they've done.
That's
It's
good
like,
because that's like, sometimes that turns me off a little bit.
I won't say it's
With
less
their
weird
stuff.
because it's not. It's not
Oh
less
yeah,
weird, but it's
I'm sure. I don't remember the other song, the second single, whatever it was. I don't remember what it's called, but it was super strange like that. So
Yep, that's mine. Hocus Pocus.
there it is. All right, so yeah, like, subscribe,
Comment,
do all
share,
that business.
Tweet your questions at us. Comment your questions at us.
Yes.
Whatever you want.
Yes. I'm at Flying Neon. She's at Megan is the Junk. And we'll see you soon.
Okay, so this was all of 808s and Basements was inspired by this sticky note that says, is it blurry?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. It says, Megan and Codi review cosmetics based only on smell. And so this, I just ordered this. It came in today, fortuitously. And this is Fierce Magenta's Luster Pop, or no, sorry,
Beauty blogger.
not Luster Pop. It's
I didn't even do it. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's Astro Lilac, and let's see.
That
Upon
sounds
application-
aggressive.
It does sound aggressive. Upon, like, I'm gonna put some more on. It said to layer it. Upon the application, it's like a gloss, but it's not sticky at all. It's amazing. But smell base, it smells like baby shampoo, to quote Flubber. It literally smells like babies.
Glad this turned into a beauty show.
I know.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Babies. That's smells like babies. The good kind.